Hey guys, welcome back to my 7th Python tutorial, and today I'm going to teach you guys a little bit more deeper on strings. Since I talked about the basics on strings last video, now I can talk more about how strings are useful, so this should be a more of a helpful tutorial. If you haven't watched the last tutorial, make sure you go watch it right now because it will be really hard to catch up on what I'm talking about at the moment. Uh, so yeah. Anyways, so I talked about strings yesterday, and I used getting outputs of a string on idle, just using single quotes or double quotes. You might have noticed that these outputs with just quotes like around them as outputs as a single quotes around them, just like this. If I do like hello, oh, you'll see the single quotes like that. Uh, and some of you who watched the previous video carefully may have also noticed that I use print. When I used print statement at the end, it didn't have the single quotes around them, just like this. So if I have print hello, it would just go like this. And this is because when Python outputs these strings, what it does is that it converts these codes into strings, but Python does it in two different ways. So just note that for now, and now I'll teach you guys on more like how to convert things to strings and why that is very useful. So one of the reasons that makes this very useful in programs is that sometimes you might want to use like numbers as strings. Let's just say that you have a variable called n for a number and assign it to 8. Now you can do math calculations with that variable, like n times 5, which is 40. But if you want to use it as a string, for example, when you type print it's plus n plus pm here. When I want to do this, it's gonna give you an error message like this, saying that it can only concatenate str, which stands for a string. Uh, so that means that we can't do that even though we want to output a sentence saying it's 8 p.m. here, because Python right now is saying like, how the heck would you add a number to letters? That literally makes no sense. With that said, we will need to find a way to change that variable, a number, into a string in order to output that sentence we want to output. Uh, so what we gotta do right now is put n equal to not just 8, oh my bad, not just 8, but put str, oops, and 8, like that. So what this does is that we are now telling Python to take whatever inside the parameter of str, which is a string, which is 8, as a string, but not a number anymore. So now we should be able to output it, right? Since all the things inside the print parameter are now strings, just like this. Print it's plus n pm here. That's a long sentence. And just like that, it works now. Oh yeah, maybe I should put like spaces in between here so I can make it like look nicer. But yeah. Uh so that's how you can convert numbers into string. The main use for that can be like outputting stuff to your user, but without having a bunch of error messages like this, that they're just gonna confuse them. Uh, Another thing I want to talk about briefly to you guys is the REPR function, like spelled like this, and which, like, what this basically does is like what it does, what the str function does. They're just basically the same thing. And just go ahead and do like RPR 29, and it should give you single quote 29 single quote as the output, just like this. RPR, oops, and it should go like that. So string and wrapper are two ways that you can convert anything into strings using Python. And that's your tutorial on how to transform anything into strings, or just more into strings, I guess. So this is going to help you guys a lot for upcoming tutorials, like to understand it. So fidget with them for a bit and get used to them. And I'll see you guys in the next one.